Why I know I win the court case and my case is undisputed is several reasons. The previous people who fought for reparations, right? If you went past the decision of, denied or whatever, and you read the actual judge's notes, a lot of them kind of made sense. They basically said that they could not approve reparations just for one family or just hold one state accountable when such an act was created nationwide, right? So for them to address or to reward reparations for that kind of act, it would have had to been on one, a grander scale of all states, and two, you had to prove the government was responsible for the act, right? So many of the cases just explained what happened to their family, but never showed how the government was responsible. So here's the difference in that court case or those court cases with my undisputed court case. So basically, I responded to what those judges had mentioned, which I thought was fair, right? So, one issue is attorneys are, well, majority of the attorneys are only licensed or they're authorized to work in a particular jurisdiction. So many of them are not even qualified to do a national court case, right? So there's one little challenge there. However, the attorney generals are able to represent all states. That's why I added Attorney General Garland in the court case. Okay. Two, we had to show how the government was responsible. Well, I had two reasons. One, with this Willie Lynch and Charles Lynch, they both were governmental employees at the time who we know lynching to be from Charles Lynch, who is the father of Willie Lynch. And Willie Lynch took it a step further with the practicality of breaking down the mental and literally guaranteed X amount of years of this challenge with our community, which is trickling down way more than that, right? So I presented the case of Charles Lynch and Willie Lynch, who are two generations who targeted this community and who both were representatives of the government, right? The second evidence of the government being responsible is that most people know the the kidnapped slaves during the transatlantic slave trade was forced to work unpaid to pick cotton, and the American dollar is 75% cotton. Okay, so that covers that piece of it. Now the second issue that was addressed in the court case was contesting the oath, right? So as president, which I intend to win, my challenge was I knew at the inauguration that they were going to want me to take an oath to protect the Constitution. I rightfully could not protect the Constitution because the Constitution is not written to protect the people that I represent. So I brought in Chief Justice John Roberts to the court case to answer that concern, where I presented the solution where we establish our laws, the laws that protect the majority from the tyranny of the minority, include that into the U.S. code, and then I can take the oath. That's the second part. And then the third part is with the Electoral College, right? Initially, I ran as president under the Independent Party, right? State of Lock Nation Party. However, State of Lock Nation Party would have been a combination of all parties, right? Because in my research of all parties, everyone has their right. their right goals of the party, right? It just, the differences between all parties is the age bracket, if that makes sense, right? Because while you're young and you're grinding, you worked very hard to earn your money and you want to keep it within you and your family or do what you want to do. That sounds more like the Republican Party. Now, as you get older, where the grind is no longer valid, then you kind of need more governmental assistance. That sounds more like the Democratic Party. And then the Green Party don't care about either side. They like, just don't F up the world while you're doing whatever you're doing. That makes sense. We need clean water and we need clean streets and we need the trees to stay doing what it does to process our breathing and all that. Like, this world evolves around all and everything. So State of Lock Nation Party was going to unionize all the positives of each group and move forward that way, okay? However, the amount of signatures that are required for an independent party in the time frame is a guaranteed booby trap for failure. And if the Electoral College is in place to make sure that the campaign is ran fair, then that was not it. So in the court case, there's a graph of how one particular state would require Democrat an amount of signatures, Republicans a different amount, and then independents a higher amount in the same time frame. That's just not fair. So I addressed all three of those concerns in the court case, and I also presented the solutions. Like, I didn't even ask for their assistance in finding a solution. I presented the solution, which that solution is going to be a solution not only for the people that I represent, but it will also immediately bring down the deficit. It would immediately bring down these higher prices. It would immediately create a new state that is affluent so that it can balance out, the economy and put some relief in all families' pockets. However, there's some type of delay for some reason with these judges. So if you know the judge that's on the case, holler at him and just be like, listen, you might want to look at this in a different light, because whatever solution they're over there looking for, it's right in front of them on that file. Go figure. Catch that. I've also included victim statements. So I've seen that they've incorporated rap lyrics as evidence. So that gave me the idea to also use movies as evidence and documentaries as evidence. And as we all know, this historical issue has been going on for 400 to 500 years. So I had well over 3,000 plus different victim statements, movies. A matter of fact, the company that produced Harriet and Malcolm X and all that, I've seen them trying to pull all those movies off the shelves now all of a sudden. I wonder why. However, it's already from pen to paper and it's stamped. So using those as victim statements, it just makes it undisputed at this point. We don't need a jury because we have all this evidence that supports what is being said, even today with all the current news of the blatant police killings and the like. So I don't know why they're delaying so long. Maybe they have stuff they have to adjust or whatever. I don't know. However, it is a public right to know what is going on, and the news would not cover it. Like they didn't cover my presidential campaign. So this is my way of letting you guys know, in collaboration with the court cases and the different press releases and all that. So you do with the information as you like. It's there.